It's 2022! Yeah! Happy New Year, leprechauns. What did you get up to for New Year's Eve? I had probably the most quiet New Year's of my life, and it was low-key lovely. I'm of the belief, however, that, the traditional New Year's Eve, the 31st, it's not really New Year's Eve, is it? Really, the winter solstice is New Year's Eve on, isn't it the 21st of December? Because that's the shortest day of the year, and every consecutive day after that, it gradually gets longer. And our ancestors, who wouldn't have had much food this time of year, they would have been fucking buzzing whenever the new year came, or rather the winter solstice came. Because that meant one thing, that spring is on its way, and soon they'll be able to grow grub again. Grub meaning food. Ho ho ho. But anyway, we have to abide to these traditions sometimes, don't we? Speaking of which, a new tradition or habit that I have developed is journaling. Look how much journaling I have done this year. Incredible. I am so fucking proud of myself for journaling this much. Very soon, I'm going to be going over the 10 things that I am most proud of that I have achieved this year. But in the meantime, I'm going to go over why I journal so frequently. Why I journal every day, or else why I try to journal every day. I try to be as disciplined as possible. It is one of my values in life, one of my core principles. However, some days, I just don't feel like journaling. However, usually it's those days that I do not feel as good about myself. And so journaling, it makes me feel better about myself. But yeah, the reason why I journal. Have you ever had it where you've got so much thoughts going on in your head, it feels like your head is going to explode? Can you relate? Yes, I'm sure you can. I most certainly 100% can. And basically, what journaling does for me is it transfers my thoughts to the paper. And it removes what's in my head and puts it wrapped up in a nice wee bed, duvets over it, covered nice and cozy in the paper. Basically, it removes it and it clears my mind and makes me feel fresh. It helps me feel sane whenever I'm feeling insane. And I 100% recommend it for you if you're struggling with psychosis or mental health in general. There's a couple of ways I like to journal. One way is just get everything out of my head. So whether that's what the voices are saying, whether that's what my own voice is saying, or just past events or future events that I keep on going over. Another way that I journal is the 5-minute journal. Now, I'm going to add a link in the description to how you can apply the 5-minute journal yourself with a wee template. But basically what I do is I write down 3 things that went well that day. Following that, I write 3 things that could have gone better that day. Then I like to write a lesson that I have learnt that day. And then I do a full plan by the hour of what I'm going to do tomorrow. On top of that, I do a weekly review and a full plan for the week. What I also like to do is a full plan for the year and a full plan for a semester or a quarter of the year. So, because this is the new year, you know what that means? More plans for the year. But I had to do some introspection before I made any plans for the year, and so I went over the 10 things that I am most proud of achieving this year. Number 1, the most thing that I'm proud of achieving this year is my consistency with journaling and my consistency with exercise. I just had a mean protein shake. I'll show you it here. It was fucking juicy. And if you can have a look here, although I have been eating all the pies at Christmas, I'm getting very close to that wee 6-pack I've been looking for all my life. By this summer, I'm determined that I am going to have a proper 6-pack. In the meantime, I'm very happy with the progress that I am making. I do exercise for health, not for aesthetic looks. Although it does make me happy whenever I see myself in the mirror and I think, fuck, you're a wee sexy, aren't you? You're a wee sexy, so you are. Number 2 then is starting a YouTube so I can speak to all yous. I fucking love you, leprechaun. Fucking love you. Starting a YouTube has really been a massive achievement for me. On top of starting a YouTube, posting weekly. There's only been 1 week where I've not posted consecutively. Otherwise, I've always tried to fill it in with like a little 1-minute short video. What I've learned from YouTube though is that I am creative and I have these skills inside of me. Not only that, but I also have consistency. And it's helping me grow. It's really putting myself to the test. Number 3, what I am most proud of by me, is starting a podcast. I know, you have not seen any episodes of the podcast yet, but I have recorded 5 episodes. They're all waiting on my laptop and on my hard drive, and I'm in the process of editing one of them. So I'm hoping that one of them is going to be out this week, but we will see. Number 4 of what I'm most proud of achieving this year is completing first year university. Yes, would you believe it? I have completed my first year of psychology. Fucking mad. You know, whenever I got diagnosed with a drug-induced psychosis, and the psychiatrist told me it would be a minimum of 3 years until I've recovered, the first thing that came into my head was, fuck, 3 years? That's like a university degree. And so, I'm so proud of myself for not only being able to recover from psychosis, but being able to get my first year in a uni degree while in recovery. You know, I say completely recover from psychosis. I'm not completely recovered from psychosis. I'm still in the recovery. I think I'll always be in recovery. And that's part of the journey, which I fucking love, because it makes me stronger and it makes me better. And I've never been healthier in my whole life. So even if I still hear the occasional voice from there to then, that's all right, because I know I'm healthy and I know I'm on this journey to success, to succeed in a life that I have chosen for me, not what my school has chosen for me, not what my university has chosen for me, and definitely not what society has chosen for me, but what I have chosen for me to bring me the most fulfillment. Number 5 then of what I'm most proud of is visiting 3 countries. Now, I'm not really proud of this, if I'm being honest. Like, it's not much of an achievement to go to a country, but it was good crack. And I enjoyed it. I loved it. So I'm grateful for that. So maybe not proud of it, but I'm grateful for it. The 3 countries that, if you're curious of, were Scotland, Wales and Portugal. Number 6 then. Getting my first belt in a martial art. The martial art being Taekwondo. I got my yellow stripe, and yeah, it was pretty easy. But that's not the thing, it's that I actually did it. You know, it's supposed to be easy for your first belt, and they progressively get harder as you work your way up. But just like a video game, you know, the first level's easy, then you work your way up. I'm excited to move my way up through the martial arts world, and it is a challenge, and I fucking love a challenge. Number 7 then is being able to stay the same financially. A lot of people struggle with this, and I've been quite conscious of my finances. Even if you disagree with how society works and the value that money has upon us, it's inevitable that you have to deal with it, and I'm pretty grateful that I am up to date with my finances. Yeah. Of course, I'm not in a comfortable position, and I would like to be more financially stable. In fact, I have a lot of goals that are financially dependent on, so I am looking to make more money next year. That is one of my goals for 2022. But get to that in a minute. Number 8 then is I took the first step to achieving my 5-year plan. Now, I'm not going to tell you what my 5-year plan is because that's my personal goal, and I'm of the belief that if you tell enough people about your goal, then you're not going to achieve it. Why? I listened to a podcast recently where I explained this in a study, and basically, whenever you tell someone about your plans, it activates the same amount of dopamine as if you'd already achieved that plan. And so what you want to do is you want to go through the steps of achieving this plan, and then once you have accomplished it, then you can talk about it. Or else, be careful about who you talk about it to. Because say you want to start a business, you don't want to talk about business to someone who has not accomplished starting a business before. You want to talk about business with people who are involved in business. And so if you talk about this to anyone else, then they may suck the soul out of your idea, and they may take all the energy out of it, and then you may never start it or accomplish it. But I've taken the first step to achieve my 5-year goal, and we are climbing up the hill, baby. We'll get there soon, and I'll keep you updated, of course. Number 9 is continuing to grow. By continuing to grow, I mean, no, I've not gotten any taller. If anything, I feel like I've gotten smaller. My muscles have gotten bigger though. But continuing to have a growth mindset. You know, I was sober for 1.5 years. I have drank a couple of times since then, but I'm going back to being sober. I've been practicing meditation, I've been hiking, I've been setting all these wee goals for myself, and I'm becoming stronger as a person. And I'm learning more and more each day to love myself and to accept myself with respect and compassion. And it feels amazing. Number 10 then is I've managed to read 30 plus books this year. Now, I tried to name all the books that I had read this year, and I got a bit muddled up between these and last year's. That's why I'm saying 30 plus. It's around that mark. Here are some of the books that I have read, and I recommend all of these to you. On top of that, here's some of the books that I've bought to read this year. So that is all the 10 things that I've achieved this year. Now, I'm yet to read over my full journal because, as you can see, I've got so much writing in there. You know, the whole of last year, I wrote a journal on my laptop and I actually never read it. So, we will see. My goals for the new year then as well are... I have no fucking idea. To become the sexiest leprechaun in the world. I think I might win that one. My goals for the new year, you know, some of them are personal. Some of them I will explain to you. I start university in October, so that is one goal, to start my 2nd year. Another is to start publishing this podcast. I also want to be consistent with this YouTube. I want to get that 6-pack, which I was telling you about. And I want to go back to Portugal to learn some more things. So, there you go. They are my goals for 2022. But yes, leprechauns, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know, what are your goals for 2022? And what lessons have you learnt in 2021?